All right, we're thankful you could stay with us on TVC Breakfast this Thursday morning. It's time to take a look at the papers today. Of course, we're being joined by a lecturer of the University of Lagos, Dr. Dan Ekere. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Nice Good to see you.
Good morning. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
And I cannot fail to recognize that Cherubawon.
At least let me align with Amosu today.
Oh, okay. Then Amosu.
The gateway state, the gate is open, so you can go
into my place.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with you on the Vanguard newspaper.
Oh, okay. All right. The Vanguard begins this way. It says budget, National Assembly inserted 578 billion naira projects, and that's Buhari more or less complaining about this injection of this huge amount without any recourse whatsoever to the executive.
But the projects, are they identifiable?
Oh, well, there's a list of projects that include erosion control works, provision of medical outreach for aged and displaced persons, grinding machines for women and youth, etc., etc., etc.
My own observation will be, is it that the National Assembly is started, those things for them to execute, or is it the executive that will carry out those projects? Because if it's the executive, it's as good as creating more.
Well, they've come up with this about 5,000 different projects.
Exactly.
And earmarked money for the project.
Yeah, whether it's constituency project, I mean.
Well,
no,
if it is not constituency project.
They are not constituency projects. Now the point there is the president is saying that some of these issues have not been, these projects, some of them have not been conceptualized, they've not been costed appropriately, they've not gone through the processes. So how do you allocate monies to projects that have not been conceptualized?
Good. Well,
so that is part of his. And then he also went to complain to say that there are some of these projects that are under states and local governments, and all of that. So how do you burden the federal government with
this project
that are supposed to be under the
states? I do not think that we've not gone through all of that to know which one could be under the states. Now, I don't think the projects are purely under states. Neither is there any project. In fact, I don't know where you call Nigeria outside the states. It's just a question of whose responsibility now.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that some of these projects are supposed to be handled by the local government and the states.
The federal will not take over the job of the states, certainly. No. So if monies have been budgeted for projects and those projects are not realizable, it means that such money will not go into those projects. So we should have that money reserved for something else.
Anyway, we're going to have enough time to actually trash this this morning, because it's part of what we'll be looking at.
All right.
APC convention, presidency, governors in trade-off, and Nigeria's public debt rises to 22.7 trillion naira in first quarter of 2018.
And we have how much reserves? Because that has always been, you have $20 billion.
About $47 billion.
Then you have incurred debt of over $20 billion. I wonder if you can still say you have credit
if
somewhere.
You have somewhere, have some reserve somewhere.
That is worrisome, actually.
All right, I'm sure this one is not worrisome. Buhari okay's appointment of 28 new judges. Kogi local government boss appoints 200 aides. And Benue killings, DSS arrests Suswam, that's former governor of the state. He's been alleged to have links with the killings in the state.
We never can tell, really, whether he actually has let them carry out their investigation, and let's be sure that there is no political witch hunt or anything, because don't forget that, the police has a way of doing this, even when it is glaring that the assailants are, from a particular area or in a direction, they will leave that one and begin to chase something. Let's hope that truly this will be something that they can establish. And
don't forget too that there were allegations that the present governor, one of his aides, is actually linked to the same killings. Well, we don't have the conclusion of that yet, but we are waiting to see how that pans out. We've not received any court order on Uwazurike. That's according to the police. Okay.
All right.
I guess
let's move to the Punch newspaper now.
Vanguard.
2018 budget hard to implement with National Assembly alterations. Buhari is saying that. And says lawmakers inserted 6,000 projects into signed budgets. We are not rubber stamp legislature. National Assembly saying that.
As usual. As usual.
But when it comes to the issue of whether the National Assembly has the right to alter or generate new projects into the budget, I think the court has to, clearly,
what exactly does the Constitution say about it?
It is one very worrisome issue, because each time this happens, you always hear, from different divides, even among lawyers, that the National Assembly has the right or they don't have the right, and National Assembly will tell you we are not.
They are claiming that they have the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Federal government shouldn't fund ranches with public money. South, and Middle Belt leaders are saying that.
As a matter of fact, when I saw that headline, that they've identified some states where they are going to build ranches.
10 states.
So yes, I was wondering whether it's going to be a national project or some individuals are raising money to do that. Because if the federal government is going to use public funds to do that, then you should build, fish farms and the rest for others. Otherwise, what you are saying is that you need to exercise your power of violence so that the federal government can establish business for you.
Well,
that's what it will
we would not encourage that, definitely. But what the government is looking for 70 billion
now. It is a private business. It's not a national, it's not. It's private business. So they should spend public.
Government is looking for 70 billion to actually finance this.
Let's move on now. Nigeria's debt rises to 22.7 trillion naira. That's DMO is revealing that. And OAU fires professor over sex for mark scandal. Finally, they have concluded this case. Yeah. And then we have NERC suspends Ibadan Discourse Board over 6 billion inappropriate transaction. And PhD scandal, Unilag disclaims Oshun Poly Rector's BSc.
I'm sure Dr. Danakera
but these are records that are ascertainable. You don't make a claim that you hold a degree from a school like University of Lagos that can easily find out your status. So I wonder sometimes where this kind of claims come out.
It's okay. And then there's some changes made by lawmakers are listed there for everyone to see the alterations. Well, that's the Punch newspaper now. And
to the nation very quickly. Ekiti 2018, Oshimbajo meets monarchs, rally against violence. 2,000 jobs a scam, says Adeyeye. Fayemi will win. Ulushola begins ward-to-ward campaign. Of course, that election comes up in July. Yes.
July.
Okay, senators, reps defend changes, and that's in response to Buhari's,
his position on the infiltration or his starting of a project.
Okay, the headline simply is Buhari signs budget 2018 despite 578 billion naira injection. We already talked about that. Yeah. How OPEC lifted oil sector by Ibe Kachiku. Of course, Minister of State has said that he's been trying to explain, how the impact that OPEC has had on Nigeria's oil and gas sector. According to him, it's been positive so far.
All right. The Daily Sun now, uproar over proposed ranches in 10 states. Igbo, Middle Belt, Yoruba groups reject the federal government's plan and no land for ranching in Benue. Governor Tom is insisting. He has said this before in the papers we read yesterday, and he's insisting. National Assembly padded 2018 budget. Buhari is revealing that. There were no rubber stamp. Alterations are justified. Senate and reps are saying that. Well, Nigeria in eyes of the world, as Buhari declares IPI Congress open today. That's the International Press Institute. All right, Nigeria and Niger Republic to sign MOU on joint refinery next month. Well, this is a refinery that's supposed to be located in Katsina State, and it's going to be fed with the crude from Niger State, from Niger Republic. Niger Republic.
Niger have to be wary because they should know that we have some refineries here that are not functioning. Except
so we don't have good track records.
Certainly not. Until you're able to prove that signing MOU is not the solution. It's the project coming on board to actually do what it ought to do maximally that becomes an issue. Because we've had I mean, a country that has about 4 refineries and none is working up to even 50%, let alone full capacity. You are signing MOUs, except you are saying that you know those who are going to operate it are from Niger and the rest of it.
Well, they're saying it's going to be a private sector funded, so we look forward to how that may be different. OAU sacks professor over sex former scandal. We've talked about that. Well, that's the Daily Sun now.
All right, to this day, that's our last paper this morning. Finally, Buhari signs 2018 budget with reservations. And presidency accuses opposition of sponsoring widespread killings.
We don't want to hear all those kind of talks.
Says it's political enemies that are behind these killings.
Yeah, so which means they equally sponsored when they were in opposition. Just do the right thing, do the needful, take care of it. That is the responsibility of government, security. Do your job and leave all these allegations. We are not interested in who is sponsoring what. Bring them to book and prove that they truly have done that. That's all we need.
Yeah. Since you have information.
Yes, so if you know that they are sponsored, you should know where the money is coming from. You should know who parted with the money, how. You know, and if it's through bank, if it's by hand, tell us.
Okay, court refuses to stop APC National Convention. There have been attempts, of course, to stop it, but all right, delayed results. 17 insurance firms get 62 million naira NSC and NICOM fine. Okay, that's it from the papers this morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Diana Kere, for joining us.